コアラッシュからレンガなんだこのキャラクターは。おかしいでしょ。小叩きキャラがあってはいけません。小技レンガ、うわー、バレてる。バレてる。わあー、すごいな。あー、すごかったわ。すごい。すごいよ。すごいです。
Wait, it's not playing?
俺今日スト6やる気。もうコメントがいつもの10倍ぐらいの速さで流れるから、だってコメント読めないもんだってこれ。
The video's just low.
お前らマジ謝れよ、マジで。海外勢も海外勢だろ。残機読めと思うんだったら勝てよ、お前ら。本当に。海外勢も海外勢だろ。すごいな。ほんと残機強いな。マジぶっ壊れてると思うよ。ぶっ壊れ。見ただろ。あの試合ないよ。This season, crazy cat gift. パンクも言ってたからな、パンクも。Oh, Nemo, this is the best character Zangief.
What?
Crazy.
Yeah.
パンクも言ってたもんだって。エボ優勝したパンク。
The punk
ザンギ
impression.
2人目。しかも CPT プレミアからザンギ2人目だからね。誰だよ、ザンギ終わったとか言ってるやつ。確定だろ。てか、ナーフされても、ナーフされないだろ。
Oh my
ナーフされなかったらこんな強化来ねえもん。
That's true.
キャミーザンギ、リュウザンギ。そうだ、リュウがいたわ。リュウがいた。海外勢の残機の評価が低いの俺もうわかんねえよ。わかんねえ。
Hold on. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Give me a second. I don't know if I vibe with this, and I'll tell you why. These are the same people that said Laura wasn't that good in Street Fighter 5. Alright? They thought Zangief was better than Laura. And we sitting here on this side of the world like, what game are you playing? I don't know. I don't know what to say here. I really don't. But okay.
わかんねえっすよ。エナが使って優勝してんだから、答え。いや、もうイタさんがアメリカ行く時点で答え出てんだよ。
Yo! Dog. He just basically called out all of NA right here. The answer was no when Itazan said he was going to America. He knew he was going to win. Dog. Damn. Yo, NA, where y'all at? I don't count in this, mind you. Damn.
答え出てんだよ。メナが優勝したとかじゃないよ。もうイタさんがアメリカ行く時点で答え出てんだって。ちょっとね、ビッグバードが見えてたやつがあったんだけどな。見つかんねえな。それに対してお前ザンギどう思うのかっていうのをね、返信してやりてえなと思うんですよ。 リーグみたいにどっかで対策したらきついんかな。そんなことないでしょ。そんなことねえよ。運が悪かっただけだろ、駒投げゼロでさ。中盤ペンペンペンやってんだからさ、コンボミスしなかったら勝ってんのだろ。あんだけコンボミスしてんだぞ。あんだけコンボミスしてんのか。普通だろ。他のキャラ勝ってんのか、コンボミスして。
That's true. That's true. Nemo hates that character though. Nemo just hates
コンボ
grapplers.
ミスってバカとしても SS さんパナせばいいんだろ。おかしいよ。おかしい。
Yo, Nemo is hurt.
Always Rashid. Rashid and Gif. CPT tournament wins. Always. ザンギ2人目。やっぱ梅原さんがな、止めれなかったのかな。梅原さんが止めれなかったのかな。いろんな人が竜使ってみようっつって。ね、竜を触ったと思うんですよ。ザンギ使われました？メナ優勝して使われます？はい、板橋優勝しました。ザンギ使う人います？配信で。どうなんですか？
He's right. He's right. No one's playing the character.
ねえ。
But everybody want to play Ryu.
もう魅力がないキャラクターなんですよ。
That's true.
ザンギってだから弱くていいっていう話だから。どうせ使われねえんだから。ね？悲しいっす。俺らが悲しい。みんな悲しいって言うかもしれない。俺らが悲しい。ザンギと対戦しなきゃいけないんだから。ね、ザンギ対策しなきゃいけないんだから。俺らが悲しいわ。
Damn.
我らいいよ。ね、ザンギにやられてるみんなを見てね、ゲラゲラ笑ってるでしょ。
Yo, he's
こま投げ
angry.
食らったっつって。ね。
Yo, he's
こま投げ
pissed.
食らってないんだよ。ほとんどこま投げ食らってない。食らってるのはほとんど打撃。ね。でもたった1回ザンギにこま投げ決められたら、うわ、ザンギのこま投げすげえみたいな感じになるでしょ。たった1回。
Yo.
たった1回だよ。ね。道中何やられる？ラッシュ中パン、タッチ中パン、強パン、タッチ中継、はい、ペンペンペンペンペンペンつってね。でもやばいですよ。こっちの体力ほぼないですよ。パリーもできない。ね、パリーもしにくい、飛びもしにくい。そうなった時に来る駒投げ飛べなかった。はい。駒投げ食らったすげえ。なんなんいかに投げキャラに打撃を強くしちゃいけないのかっていうのが詰まった CPT だと思うんですよね、今シーズン。ザンギのラッシュって強いの？いや、わかんないですよ。俺が強いかどうかわかんないです。俺が強いかどうかわかんないですよ。今質問した人、これどうですか？強いと思いませんか
No. Nemo's hurt. I don't blame him though. He's pretty much right. Like, it is kind of sad that people look at Geef and they just don't think he's like that good. Granted, I will say the funny thing is Japan in some cases have a history of losing to grapplers. That's why we don't think Geef is that strong out here in America. Like, the average American player won't think very highly of Geef, but given what he's able to do in this game in particular, you can't undermine Geef at all. Even in season 1. You can't be giving Geef too much good stuff. And the Geef players get sad that their character's not that good. Then they realize that just there's like a way they have to play. I don't know, Geef having good buttons is scary. He's in training mode salty. I bet. I don't blame him. What sets America apart from, oh man. Let me finish this. What sets us apart from Japan in the Geef / grappler matchups? We fucking mash all day. we have no care. We don't worry one bit that we could die. We don't worry about shit. We mash, we show no respect. Japan plays super respectful against grapplers because they feel they just block. And then they get command grab and they start to die. Lose more HP, etc., etc. And like why Nemo's annoyed is pretty obvious, right? It's a big reason. He's annoyed for the same reasons I fucking hate Potemkin. He's annoyed for the same reasons I hated Xrd, not even Xrd, just AC Pot. AC Potemkin is just like, I mean, in my personal opinion, for a long time in my head, I was like, that character is just so damn scrubby. Like, it's just dumb. Like, you don't have, the majority of times I fight that character, I be thinking to myself, like, you have like absolutely no defense. You have nothing. Now granted, you do have to have defense to play the character, obviously. I was salting because I was playing Chip. But like, I leave any kind of gap to try to test you, and it's like, and then he gets to combo you, and then get 25 meter back, and then do an Aegis Reflector unblockable mix-up. It's like, what the hell, man? How you got better mix-up than the fucking ninja? And you do more damage. It's like, it's a joke. I spent all this time learning how to be smart, and all you gotta do is hit freaking Potemkin Buster, and you're nice. Crazy. But you have to understand, like, it's not like Geef, where like, I mean, it's even better than Geef's in my honest opinion, but you get command grabbed, it does a big chunk of damage, and then he spends 25 to combo you again into Heat Knuckle, and you fall down right in front of him, and the meter that was spent, he gets it back. It made no sense. None. I learned after fighting Accent Core Potemkin how much I just absolutely just despise grapplers. Like, and I don't despise them in the sense that like I would never, well, I won't say I'll ever really play them. I like strikers, and I like more like, I don't like pure grapplers like Geef, basically, or Potemkin. Now granted, I'll be honest and say I think Iron Tiger's kind of cool, but that's because he has the magnetism mechanics, so I think that makes him less like, it makes him silly, but it also gives him a cooler way to use like the grappling, you know what I mean? But like when it comes to like Geef and Potemkin, I can't stand them because like they have to weather the storm of having to deal with all kinds of bullshit on the way in to fight certain characters and shit like that. Cool, I get it, don't get me wrong, but the one thing that they're good at is super devastating. It requires you to not really, now granted it's gonna sound biased, but like, yo, you don't need to learn combos really. You just need to be like, some people that play Potemkin, they were like, I'm gonna be honest with you, they weren't very good with the character, but they know how to match Pop Buster in the middle of your shit. They know how to Heavenly Potemkin Buster, and like AC Potemkin was such a joke in some cases. Like a lot of people picked them up as a secondary to like beat chip players or beat biking players because like they just sucked on defense, or they just were bad at certain matchups. So like, well, I can do this. And not to mention, you had moves like Slide Head that literally knocked you down, and he had all day to combo you for the OTG, which is like a complete freaking joke. So swinging over to Geef, why Nemo's angry is because it's like, why we don't get it is because we don't play as respectful as they do. They play super clean. They try to like, you know what I mean? They try to play super solid. We play solid, but we normally play for the mix-up. So we know if we mash out of this situation, we want to deal with Geef again. But the reality is, Geef is a good character in this game. That's the reality. He's a good character. There's no, oh, Geef sucks in Street Fighter 6. No, that character's good. You can't sing the song, he's bad. None of that. And the fact that he even said that, you know, he recognized how good the character was long ago, and then it's like, yo, you didn't think so? I knew the second that Itazan went to East Coast Throwdown, he knew Itazan would be slated to, he wouldn't be 100% slated to win, but he has a high chance of winning, right? I'm assuming that's the use the word context. I'm assuming that's the vibe he was pushing, right? Do I think for 1 second that like, was Geef nerfed in this most recent patch? No. They just took some of the stuff away from him just to like kind of make it a bit fair. They took away the stand medium kick, and they took away the knee shot, which made sense because the knee shot was basically a dive kick. That move already has so much utility, and then the stand medium kick was already like, he already had enough buttons. It's like Geef isn't shy of any good normals at all. So if every normal was a good normal, then like, you know, not saying that's like a bad thing that every normal has to be a good normal, but you know what I'm saying? Like, He's a grappler, and he's just doing a lot of damage from just one hit. He already does a lot of damage from just one command grab. And then, on defense, like Nemo said, he's not wrong. If you're doing, you know, one of the most annoying parts too is like, you can argue that yes, doing mashing double quarter circles on defense when you're in burnout, yes, that is not that hard. But I would go on a limb and say going for a 720 is even scarier because of how the way the game works with cardinal directions. Every fighting game with cardinal directions being up, down, left, right, those take priority, which is why you don't really need diagonals. But with Zangief, you do three 360s, and like you're gonna get any small gap is gonna freeze the game. And if he's in CA range, you just lost like damn near 6k. If not 6k, I forget how much it does on CA. But you're taking so much damage. And then he's in a lot of ways he's right. He's like, wow, that was super impressive that you were in burnout. Like, I worked hard to get you in burnout just to die to you just mashing. Now, of course, one would say just bait it, but then you jump and you eat level 1. So it's like, in his mind, now I can see it because I understand where he's coming from. Like, in his mind, it's like, I did all this work to beat your ass just to be, now I have to be on defense despite whooping your ass. So Zangief players who hold on to their meter, that tend to be pretty scary because it's like, well, I can't jump back because you can react to me jumping back. I can't backdash in between my shit because you might still 720 me. There's some areas where it's hard for him, or hard for certain characters to like backdash in areas, right? Because your backdash has recovery. And if he does running bear grab, he can actually catch you. So it's like, and then jab SPD range is pretty far. So like, yeah, there's moments where you'll probably hear people say, oh, you know, Zangief sucks and Zangief's in this and Zangief's in that. It's like, nah, that character, he doesn't have to be top 5 to be proven to be a damn good character. But I would definitely say I've been pretty much on the side of like, yes, Akuma's probably the best character in the game, but the most like,
how you doing?
In my opinion,
never forget about that, because that's all we got.
In my opinion, the most improved character in the game is Zangief. He's the most improved. Now, being the most improved means a lot of different things, and one of them means having high placements because of his improvements, right? It's not just like, oh, these are some nice buffs, like kind of like how Manon got like some nice little buffs and they kind of just work for her. Zangief got put into a position where like, and again, I'm with Nemo, you know, freaking Ryu wins a tournament, everyone runs to pick Ryu, right? Zangief wins 2 tournaments, no one's rushing to pick Zangief. No one wants to play the grappler. No one wants to play the big ugly tank. If this was Marisa, that's a different story. There's no beauty, basically. The character's ugly. So I think if it was Marisa, people would play. She at least looks cool. You know, Zangief doesn't really look as cool as Marisa, to be honest. But the biggest difference is we mash more than they do. And so like, we don't have that value. Not to mention, like, this isn't to hate. I'm just gonna make an observation. Please don't take it the wrong way. Part of the issue is I think players don't get to play against Snake Eyes enough, and Snake Eyes is like the closest thing we get to Itazan. So unless you run into him in ranked, or you don't see him, the only way to play him is in ranked. He doesn't enter events that heavily, right? You won't see him going into any of the events. And he has his reasons for it. I'm not gonna knock him for it. That's by his choice, right? But the reality is, if you don't have someone on the level of a Snake Eyes or it is on to practice the matchup, you can't get it at that level. So we won't. That's the other side of it too, right? We won't agree, right? The thing is, in Japan, they're constantly playing Itazan. Itazan is in Street Fighter League. Itazan is in like every event over there. You don't get the same treatment on this side. So if our best Zangief, like, and I say our best Zangief as, you know, it's Snake Eyes, but if we pull Snake Eyes out of the equation and go to the next best guy, you know, does he stack up to Itazan? That's the real question, right? And is that unfair? Not necessarily, because you can just pull Snake Eyes out of the complete equation. Like, at that point, he's irrelevant to the discussion of best Zangief on this side of the world, right? Because we don't get that experience, so they do. So it's like if you were playing Snake Eyes literally every day, you play in an event, every day you play in Street Fighter League, you know what I mean? Like, he's there, like then we'd have a better understanding. But Snake Eyes knows how good Zangief is also, right? That's the other thing. There are other players who I forget one of their names, but like, you know, we would need to get them to be on that level. How long is that going to take? I have no fucking clue. See what I'm saying? But understand, it's not a knock to Snake Eyes. He can do whatever the fuck he wants to do. It's his life, his time, his money, his whatever the fuck he wants to do, he can just do it. It's okay, right? But if we pull Snake Eyes out of the equation, then what we need to do is work with our Geefs to play as good as it is on. And I think that's asking a lot. That's also the hard part, right? Is that you're asking a lot from the Geef community to play. Like you're saying, hey, we need you to think like it is on. Like they're different people and their experiences change. You know what I mean? There's a lot of Geef players now for sure. Yes, at least on this side of the world, there's a lot of Geef players. I don't know about Japan. When I play ranked, I fight a mountain of Geefs. To be honest, I'm not even gonna sit here and lie. Definitely fight a lot of Geef. But you know, regardless, right? Like, for us to have that same fear that like Japan has, we would need to play against someone who is consistent as it is on, or is as good as it is on. When I say consistent, I mean as good. So if the Geef players that we have now currently could get to that level, which personal opinion, I think that's going to be really hard to do, not because they can't play Geef really well, but you know, as a grappler main, it is on only plays Geef. He only plays grapplers, you know, and he has like the mindset to do it. So that type of mindset that he has in particular over the years with all the experience he has, that might be difficult for people to like contest, or rather let me not say contest. Yeah, it's the legacy behind playing Geef is what puts him above. Like he knows in this game it does this, in this game it does that, in Alpha 3 it does this, or in Alpha 3 we got Katobi cancels. Yeah, so it's just you have that. He has that on his side, and that's what I'm saying. It's not a knock to our current Geef players. It's not. It's, trust me. It's like, for example, if you played me in Guilty Gear prior to Strive, you're gonna fight against like the best chip possible. There's other chips that are just as good, right? But like, at least you could say you're fighting one of 5. You know what I mean? But like and again, I'm not knocking any of our Geefs, but it's like if Snake is our best and we don't play him, well, shit out of luck. You know, if all we can do, if at the best all we can do is get him in rank, great. But like, there's also, you know, the long set, which is very important in my opinion, because you can gain more out of a 2 out of 3 set in a long set. First 10, first 5, something like that, to be able to like really understand and grasp Geef, be great. But it also helps that Japan talks with each other to try to figure out stuff and learn more things about their characters. So we don't have that line of communication. So like, for me personally, like I would love to I'm always down to run those like those concept matches, right? Sit there and play like Terry versus Geef for like 4 hours or some shit like that, and be like, okay, now I can come to a distinction. Or as long as the player wants to play, you know what I mean? Then we can discern like what this matchup looks like and where else I can work on, or where both players can work on to get better in like the matchup. But if we don't get that, oh well.